Goa, known as a land of beautiful beaches, whispering palms, pristine sands, and romantic sunsets. If beaches and sunshine are all you think of when you think of Goa, you haven't seen the half of it. There is a whole feast of history, culture, art, and of course revelry that makes this haven. There is a reason why Goa has such fascinating diversity. Its different rulers have shaped it. The Kadambas ruled over Goa between the 10th and the 14th century. The Mahadev temple at Tambadi Surla is a relic of that era. Because of its remoteness, located as it is at the foot of the Western Ghats, this temple has withstood many invasions. It is considered to be the only specimen of Kadamba Yadava architecture in basalt stone still seen in Goa. Though dedicated to Lord Shiva, the presence of Vaishnavite deities throughout the temple shows a synchronization of faith. Many visit this temple on Mahashivratri, which is grandly celebrated here. Goa's destiny changed hands though, when the Konkan was conquered by Mahmud Goan. It went into the control of the Adil Shahs of Bijapur. This was a time of prosperity for Goa. A lasting testament of this era is Safa Masjid in Ponda, an important historical monument today. This was built in 1560 by Ibrahim Adil Shah, the Sultan of Bijapur. Safa literally means clean, chaste, or pure in Arabic, and this mosque is a timeless reminder of medieval Goa, or Ella as it was called then. Goa's most significant rulers, who would make an indelible impact on its culture, history, and way of life, were the Portuguese. Harassed by the heavy taxation of the Adil Shah regime, wealthy Goan landowners invited Afonso de Albuquerque to drive Adil Shah out. Albuquerque conquered Goa on his second attempt, and Goa became the center of Portuguese India. Many viceroys and governors ruled Goa under the Portuguese era. The Portuguese influence can be seen in the architectural splendor of Goa. The Viceroy's Arch was erected by Francisco da Gama in the eternal memory of his grandfather, Vasco da Gama, the man who paved the path to India. The arch is ornamented with the deer emblem on Vasco da Gama's coat of arms. Above, in the center of the archway, is the statue of da Gama himself. On the other side of the archway is the sculpture of a person wielding the sword over a man, who is lying under the feet, clearly sending the message of victory. Other early signs of the Portuguese invasion was the chapel of Saint Catherine of Alexandria. This chapel was built by Albuquerque when he took over Goa on Saint Catherine's Day in 1510. It was evident that the Portuguese were there to stay. The seashores were fortified by Fotaguada. It was the most prized and crucial fort that enveloped the entire peninsula at the southwestern tip of Bardez. On the fort stands a four-storied lighthouse. This was erected in 1864 and is the oldest of its kind in Asia. It was once the grandstand of 79 cannons, making it the chief defense location against the Dutch and the Marathas. Goa was granted the same civic privileges as Lisbon, hence the saying, He who has seen Goa need not see Lisbon. No wonder then, many pockets of Goa could pass off for Lisbon. This is Panjim's Fontenas neighborhood. At first glance, this could be a European town. The architectural design and winding alleys, a reminder of its links with Portugal. One of the first Jesuit missionaries, St. Francis Xavier, worked extensively in Asia, especially within the Portuguese Empire of the time. His body now rests in a silver casket, encased by the glass container in the Basilica of Bom Jesus. The Goans believe that as long as the relics of St. Francis Xavier's are in Goa, no harm can ever come to the state. Every 10 years, Goa is witness to the solemn expositions of the relics of the saint, a momentous event. Pilgrims throng from all over the world to witness this event. This grand structure of the Basilica of Bom Jesus had humble beginnings. The foundation of the church was laid in 1594. It is considered as a stellar example of Jesuit architecture. The interiors are impressive, and they are dedicated to Infant Jesus. Within walking distance of the basilica are the ruins of St. Augustine. The construction of this complex began in 1597 by the Augustinian order. In 1835, after the Augustinian expulsion, its demolition was ordered. A few years later, the main vault of the church fell and the convent fell into decay. The ruins are an object of enduring mystery, because it is believed that at one stage they housed the relics of Queen Cadovan of Georgia. Many attempts have been made to trace them, but to no avail. This is the Say, or Sea Cathedral, a monument of great historical significance in Old Goa. This was the seat of the Roman Catholic rule in the 16th century, and was built in honor of Saint Catherine, who was the patroness of the chapel in Goa. The church, which was elevated to the status of a cathedral in 1534, became even more pivotal, as it is said that this was the first place St. Francis Xavier stayed in Goa in 1542. What we see today is a new structure, the construction for which started in 1562 under the reign of the King of Portugal. The wealth and grandeur of Goa's golden era reflects in this structure. The main altar has panels in gold leaf, describing scenes of St. Catherine's life and martyrdom. This cathedral seems to have set the trend for churches with single belfries in most of South Goa, though its single tower was by accident and not design. What is remarkable here, apart from the vaulted ceiling, are the paintings which have been done by local artists. Careful inspection shows how Indian and European influences have fused into one. Literally next door is the St. Francis of Assisi Church, arguably one of the finest churches in Old Goa. The paintings and the pulpit have been designed by local artists, and there is a touch of temple art. Around the altar, though, there are paintings on wood depicting the life of St. Francis, which appear to be done in a European style. When the Portuguese arrived in Goa, it seems like they might have found a region that had its own vibrant folk art and sculpture. What happened subsequently was a fine meld. The Goan graffito fused with European styles. In the Goan artist, the Portuguese found a skilled craftsman willing to adapt. You will find great examples of the Indo-Portuguese art, like this painting of Saint Christopher and the infant Jesus. From the overall appearance and the pieces of clothing, one could easily depict the story of infant Krishna and his father Vasudev. For anyone interested in art, and especially more instances of Indian influences in art, the Museum of Christian Art is a must-see. The only one of its kind in Asia. This was set up in 1994 with the help of local art lovers and historians who were concerned about the disappearance of the unique Indo-Portuguese Christian art. So, whether it's an image of an Indian-looking Virgin Mary or martyr Saint Ursula with drapery surrounding her that looks distinctly inspired by Indian textiles, these influences are highlighted in the art displayed here. In Goa, art, culture, and religious influences are seen everywhere. They are so well incorporated into daily life that it's often easy to forget their origins. This pretty style of name placards comes from the Portuguese azulejos. Very simply put, this is a form of Spanish and Portuguese painted tin glazed ceramic tile work. They were not only used as an ornamental art form, but also helped, some say, with temperature control in homes. While in Goa, it's great to pick up a souvenir of this art form. Mugs and plates with imprints from the local legend Mario Miranda are also available. Churches, art, and architecture apart, there is another loud, noisy, colorful, and fun remnant of the Portuguese era, the Goa Carnival. Every year, this 3 to 4 days extravaganza is presided over by King Momo.
I give my people freedom! Freedom to break free! Eat! Drink and make merry!
This celebration is unique to Goa and is somewhat similar to the carnivals in Latin American countries. It starts just before Lent, the 40-day period of prayer and penance. The carnival covers the entire state, and the festivities include a parade of colorful floats and troops of masked and costume revelers singing and dancing. There is a reason why the average Goan is always in a festive frame of mind. There is always something to celebrate, like Saujao or Sanjao. It is celebrated on the 24th of June every year. Saujao is dedicated to Saint John the Baptist and is celebrated all across the state with pomp and fervor. According to tradition, this day commemorates the excitement felt by the unborn John, who is said to have leapt in joy in his mother Elizabeth's womb when she was told about the birth of Jesus. The custom of people jumping into village wells, streams, and ponds is to signify the joy that St. John felt when Jesus was born. Another unique festival which derives its origin from the Portuguese system is Bandeirão, also called the Festival of Flags. It is celebrated in the island of Vivar, where rival factions in the past put up flags to resolve property disputes. Today, in a parody of the past, different groups reenact the days gone past in this flag march of sorts. And when in Goa, you don't really need an excuse for revelry. So the evening is taken over by dance and song. Matching the Goa Carnival in high spirits and color is the Hindu festival of Achivement. This was traditionally celebrated as spring's biggest festival here, which honored the homecoming of the warriors who had left their homes and families at the end of Dasera to fight the invaders. Traditional folk dances and enactment of mythological scenes is the major highlight of this parade. Shigmotsav, as they call it, is similar to Holi, but is celebrated for 14 days in Goa. What you will notice is the perfect sync in steps of the dancers, even though they may not have rehearsed together. About 21 kilometers from the capital city of Panji is perhaps the most famous of all Goan temples. The Mangeshi Temple, which is distinctive with its white tower, is devoted to Lord Shiva. The temple architecture is a mix of Hindu, Christian, and Muslim influences. Holi is celebrated very uniquely here. A betel nut tree is erected and a small fire is lit at the bottom of the tree that symbolizes the burning of the evil. And then, one by one, people break coconuts, which symbolizes a new beginning and good luck. The temple looks particularly beautiful on festival nights because of this deepstam at the front of the entrance. Deepstam, which means the column of lights, gets lit up with traditional oil lamps on festival nights. When it comes to natural beauty, Goa has been blessed with more than its fair share. On the western tip of the island of Shurao, along River Mandovi, mangrove swamps cover Goa's only bird sanctuary, aptly named after India's best-known ornithologist. This is the Dr. Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary. A variety of local and migratory birds can be found on this island. After soaking in art, culture, religious celebrations, and natural beauty, Goa's tourists love to shop till they drop. Especially when the atmosphere is as charming and unusual as this flea market. One of the most important ingredients that go into making Goa the paradise that it is its food. Goa is a land of all varieties of food. This is the Mapsa market. There are a huge variety of fresh fruits and vegetables available here. And some unusual local ingredients like homemade kokum juice, palm vinegar, and dried mangoes. Most of the spices here are homegrown, and another speciality is the flavored teas. And for the strictly carnivores, there's the Goan poke sausage. Fish is a given. All sorts of varieties are there for the picking.